Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference.
Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars.
Welcome to the dungeon, Tim. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm in pain.
In pain?
I went
End of the week
motorbike
pains?
riding,
From bike riding?
and I did 4 days straight on my road bike. And when you're on the sport naked bike, you're sitting leaning forward like that. And
Not
so
too comfortable.
4 days of that, my neck's got a little bit of compression and muscle spasm and stuff, and my just sitting in the sitting position is the worst place I can be right now, although sitting on the motorbike is worse.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I got tingling in my fingers and pain in my arm and my shoulder. It's just not going away, so I'm going to go and see the physio again tomorrow.
Yep.
But that's
Yeah,
enough about
get on top
motorbike
of
riding,
it.
unless you want to talk about motorbikes.
Love motorbikes, mate. I've been riding my whole life.
Yeah, what sort of bikes?
Always dirt bikes. I've had a few road bikes here and there, but it's not really my thing. I rather the dirt bike. So I got not long ago, I bought a DRZ 400, just a trail bike.
Yeah,
So,
good stuff.
Yeah, something a bit tamer than the KTM 450 that I've still got, and more likely to hurt myself on.
Yes, that's the problem, isn't it? I'm looking at ditching the two-stroke and going to a adventure bike, which a DRZ 400 is almost an adventure bike.
Well, that's it. I've got the bigger tank there for it, and it's going to just be a bit of an adventure bike to just do weekends away and keep it a bit tame and just camp off it and, keep it simple, back to basics.
That's the idea I'm going for, something that's not good at anything, so it'll slow me down and stop me from hurting myself.
Yeah, that's it. It'll get you there. It'll do everything, but it won't do everything perfect.
And it'll stop me from getting in trouble with the cops too.
That's it.
But we're going to lose like 90% of the listeners if we talk about dirt bikes and road bikes too much. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
we are here to talk about lawn mowing and gardening and business. So you've got some experience in that.
Yeah, well, I'm a spray painter by trade, actually.
Yeah.
But I've taken up from, when did I start? 2022. I started doing lawns and gardens on the side as just a bit of a passion project, I guess, and it's just took off. And before I knew it, I was doing all the right things, getting the insurance and getting a name and all that jazz to keep it moving forward. But I'm still currently working full time, but I'm just doing it on the side.
So when you say working full time as a spray painter?
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody else today who was doing spray painting and lawn mowing, and he's down south of Sydney. But yeah, same idea, move from spray painting into lawn mowing, and it's a business opportunity rather than working for somebody else, and good opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's something I've always enjoyed, just looking after my own stuff, and then when I've started getting paid for it, I thought, hey, this has legs, so I've kept going, and I've been really enjoying it.
Now, spray painting is one of those trades where you might say it's it's not a thinking trade, really. So you've gone from spray painting, which I think commands a fair bit of respect to be able to do a good quality job.
Yeah, there's definitely thinking involved, but it's very repetitive, a bit like anything lawn and garden at the end of the day. Like, it does change, but it's still, once you have certain processes and procedures, it's just a matter of changing it to each job.
Yeah, so being an employee in that field, you would have found limitations in terms of satisfaction pretty quickly, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I'm 29 now, and I've been doing it since I was 16, so the satisfaction's slowly burning out, but lucky I work in an awesome place, and, the banner with everyone that works there and the company itself, they do look after me, so it's definitely, it's hard. It's one of them things where I'd love to go out on my own, but it's one of the, at the moment where I'm sort of doing a bit of both, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, and that's a fair way to do business. If you can have two incomes, one from your job and one from your side hustle doing lawn mowing, then that can be a nice way to keep balance in your life.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's all it started out, just as a quick little, I can do that. And then sort of before I knew it, I was working it out the other night when I was sorting myself out because all my runs changed, but I've got 25 clients.
Yeah, okay.
So it's still, they're all nice and tight, close to home.
Yep.
Well, in between where I finish my day job, so to speak. And yeah, it works out quite well.
That's good. Now, you're local for me. I'm Lake Macquarie, Currumbong. You're Newcastle based?
Yeah, I'm Newcastle. I'm Maryland, Wallsend based.
Yeah. I have to come to you with a project idea. For years now, because I've been in business for almost 15 years, but years ago I was eyeing off a 1950s Bedford truck.
Oh.
Looking at it, Jan, that would be the ideal lawn mowing vehicle because a 3-ton truck, you could fit a ride-on and push mower and tools on the back of it. And being an older 1950s truck, it's got that really cool style, sort of,
that
gets
would get
people's
some attention.
But I looked into it and I was like, I could probably buy an old truck for $3 or $4 that is needing work. And that's where I ran into a roadblock because I'm like, that's going to take a lot of time and I'm pretty invested in my time elsewhere.
Yeah.
I was looking into it. I was going, okay, I would have to redo brakes and suspension and a more reliable engine so that it was actually worth doing for a daily driver.
Yeah, it'd be a lot more work than you think to get it something to a daily driver that it starts every morning to go to work.
That's it. That's why I have shelved the idea, and you wanted to be cool, but
yeah, that's it. You've only got so much time in the day.
But I'm always watching Facebook Marketplace, and I saw one the other day that was like a 1970s truck that was actually a 5-tonner. I was like, that could work. Still looks cool. It's not quite as cool as the 1950s ones, but still looks cool. Just long way to go to get it to a reliable daily driver.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So we really want to tell your story, not go on too many sidebars about my fanciful ideas that will never come to fruition. But so you made mention that you're about half my age. No, you're a bit older than half my age, but yeah, you're a bit younger than me.
29.
You started doing some lawns a couple of years ago, so 2 to 3 years ago you made a start?
Yeah, it was probably safe to say closer to 3, but realistically, I started the business 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay. And you've built it up now so that it supplements your main income quite well.
Yeah, it's just a bit of an extra. Like, I finish at 2:30 most days, so I've still got half the day in my eyes.
Yeah.
So I'll make do with the time that I've got.
Yeah, good stuff. So you've already mentioned you've looked into you got your insurance sorted out pretty early. You got business name sorted out. What's your setup look like at the moment?
I run out of a Toyota Commuter High Ace, so the big long one, the bus.
Okay, so it's a van, but it's closer to a bus than a van.
Yeah, well, the 14-seat minibuses that you'd get home from the pub or something like that.
So you've stripped all the seats out?
Yeah, all the seats are gone. I've just got the front ones there.
Yeah.
But, it works well. It's plenty of room in there. It's the rolling garden shed.
So you got enough seats to throw the family in there?
No, I don't. But lucky it's just me and the wife, and the dogs don't complain jumping in the back of the van.
Yeah, perfect. So being a larger van or a minibus, How many tools you got in there? You fit a ride-on in it?
I could fit probably. You'd definitely go. You'd fit a 32 in there, but you'd go. Don't know how. Yeah, don't know how big you'd be able to fit in there, but it's be definitely doable. But for the properties I look after, it's not even in question. I keep it all small. The area I live, you're pushing to get a ride on anything, let alone the backyard. You're not getting it on any of them. So
yeah,
I don't
enough.
really find a purpose for that. But if I did something like that down the track, I've also got a enclosed bike trailer that I use for all my green waste. I could always put a ride on in there, no problem.
So good for putting the dirt bike in or putting a mower in it.
Yeah, it works both ways.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So enclosed bike trailer, yeah, that's a good idea. I had a Renault Traffic for a few years, and the Renault Traffic being a front-wheel drive and fairly wide between the wheel arches, I had a 42-inch walker that I could drive straight in there.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I think there'd be more room between than I think once it'd be tight, but I reckon you'd be close to fitting the 42 in there because they're a bit wider than your standard highest as well, because being the passenger, obviously.
Yeah, I was wondering that because it might have the dual wheels on it or not.
Nah, no dual wheels. Not that big.
Yeah. Well, the Renault Traffic was like somewhere between 12 and 1,300 between the wheel arches.
Yeah, righto.
So if you're up over 1,200 wide, then you'd go 42 inches probably.
Yep. No, I've usually just got I've got three different push mowers. Well, 2 self-propels, 1 pushy, and then all my other bits and bobs in there. So I've got a bit of a box and a little bit of a setup made up, but I like to leave it open as well so I can use it for other things if need be. But it's been full of mowing gear for the last 2 years, so I should probably set it up a bit better.
That's one of those things, isn't it? It's a gonna-do job.
Yeah, it's finding time to do it.
Now, being a spray painter, have you done a full respray on the bus?
No, I haven't, but it definitely it could do with one on the roof at least. But we copped a bit of hail a few years ago there pretty bad, and I haven't fixed it. But the best thing is it's that tall, I can't see the roof. So
if you can't see the roof, it doesn't matter too much, right? As long as it's not rusty.
Nah, it's not rusty. It's patched up. It's fine.
Yeah. But the other thing, have you put signage on the vehicle?
Just a couple. Nothing stand out because I honestly haven't been chasing the walk-up business as much because I haven't needed it. Living in the area my whole life, I've been pretty lucky so far. I've sort of haven't really needed it. I've got a few stickers on there if people are waiting on me to come. If they see, they can obviously notice I'm there. But the green TIN number plates on the van sort of, they know it's me.
Yeah, that's it. People will get to know it pretty well.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay. So given what you're saying that it's not worth having a ride-on for the jobs you're currently doing, does that mean the overall job size would be like less than 500 square meters of mowing?
Yeah, like it does vary, but talking averages, the blocks would be 500-600 square blocks, and then they put a house on them.
Yeah, so typically you got like 100 square meters of turf at the front, maybe less. And
less.
Maybe 200 out the back if you're lucky.
Yeah, that's probably a more than bigger average. It's quite small around here.
Yeah. And are you dealing with a lot of newer properties like that, or is there older properties that are still similar?
Yeah, so sort of in the section where I live, it's more the older section. So, yeah, you do get them all anywhere from 200 to 500 square meters of lawn in some areas, but half of it would be garden.
Yep.
But all the new areas, they're really just put on top of each other.
They are, aren't they?
You're struggling to get a 216 down the side of the house.
Yeah. So would you be targeting customers would you call them fairly cheap customers, or are you chasing customers that are high-end customers in those areas?
Yeah, well, when I first started, I was sort of just quoting them off the size of the property, I guess, the time I was spending there. But now obviously I've filled up quite quick, only having so much time.
Yeah.
I've slowly sort of taken on clients that not only have the lawn maintenance, but I'm doing hedging and I'm doing the whole lot. So that fills me in quite well between that. And then my theory is I'm dealing with less people, doing less travel, and I'm going to the one property, and I get a lot more of a kick out of it myself, because you're looking after the whole place. They pretty much say, look, do what you need to do, and let us know, if there's any extras that need to be done. So I've been very, very lucky with a lot of my clients. They've been really good to me, and I like to think their properties have improved since I've been looking after them.
So have you offered any sort of lawn improvement packages where you're giving them fertilizer, aeration, weed treatments, those sorts of things?
Fertilizer, yes. I haven't got into the aeration.
Yep.
It's probably more something I would either... I've considered the idea of, hiring a machine and doing it that way and knocking out a few of them.
Yeah.
But a few of the properties have been pretty good. So a few of them have needed a light scarify.
Yep.
But other than that, I've been pretty good with just a fertilizer treatment, typical broadleaf, all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and, I haven't got right in hard to the renos, but done some light top dressing, but nothing too severe.
Yeah, and I think on the East Coast, that's probably the limit of what most people do is fertilizer, broadleaf treatments, and like you say, maybe considered aeration or scarifying, but usually most people are not going to the really high end like they would in West Australia, where you're offering a lawn package and different ratings of lawn package.
Yeah, no, that's what I've found. It's been, people want they want that impact. They want it to look different the next day, but once you educate them that little bit, a few months later, they do turn around and say, look, we understand sort of the way you've approached it, and now we're seeing the difference.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that's one of those things, isn't it? We talk about educating customers, but sometimes that gets looked down upon as if we're trying to convince our customers to spend more money, or we're trying to tell them that to do things the way we want them to do them rather than necessarily what's in their best interest. But a lot of it really does come down to a bit of education, and once they can see results, then they are happy to do some improvements.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's hard because you see it from both sides, because you can only really speak for yourself. You can't speak for everyone, but I find a lot of the time what clients are asking me to do, I'm finding a better alternative that's actually going to work out cheaper for them in the long run and make my life easier and keep it manageable.
So this is where I find having a social media page and a website can make a big difference for clients that are unsure about what services are worthwhile. Then you can talk to them with the evidence in front of them and say, well, these are some of the places that I look after, and this is what it looks like if you spend a bit of extra money on doing these different services.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And even like simple things like a broadleaf spray.
Yeah.
I've shown customers previous photos of what I've done and little things like that. that as soon as they see that photo, they go, okay, that's, like it's not a thing that happens overnight, but if you can have something to give them that visual impact when you're there on the day, giving them the quote, I find it goes a long way.
I did an interesting one over the last few weeks. I did a partial broadleaf spray.
Partial broadleaf?
Yeah. So rather than spraying the whole area, I only sprayed part of the area. And you can see it night and day, the difference that it makes. It is so obvious that you look at it and you go, just hurry up and do the rest of it. But it's like, that's actually a really good way to sell it. If you do a partial broadleaf treatment and then take a photo and you show people the difference, it's like you can see grass here, and here you can only see the clover taking over, or the bindi, or the other weeds that are taking over. And then there's not much grass to see. And that's, it was night and day, the difference, literally.
Yeah, that's actually, that's not a bad way to go. But I find usually the clients come out and they're, have you sprayed them weeds? Because they seem to be dying by themselves. And no, I've gave them a quick squirt.
Yeah, and you obviously don't want to do a partial spray on a client's property.
No.
But yeah, something I did just for a trial. It's like, I'll see what this comes out like, and it's like, yep, proved the point quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Tim, we've sort of covered a bit of the background of what it looks like for you. Now, you're saying you're working full-time as a spray painter, which means you're 5 days a week, are you? 5 or 6 days a week spray painting?
Yeah, 5 days a week. Sometimes,
5 days a week.
Sometimes 6, but it's only a couple hours on a Saturday if it is. But
yeah, okay.
Yeah, at least 40 hours.
Efficiency is the thing that rules a business and the decisions you make as a small business owner. Right Mowers give you the options in their product lineup to match efficiency with size, fuel usage, and the type of jobs you want to target, from catching to mulching or side discharge, from roadside verges to acreages, and manicured lawns to 6 feet tall and super long. I've been using the Right Stander I 42-inch with a Catch Pro for manicured areas, and the Stander ZK61 to maximise productivity for large open acreage mowing. If you need to replace your push mower, try the 32-inch Stander B. If you have more open access to residential properties, there's a 42 through 48-inch option that suits you. And if you want to enter the acreage market, the 52, 61 and 72-inch machines have choices in engine size and model type to suit the work you want it to do. Right Standards go the distance, saving you time and money, season after season.
Because you're doing that, you finish up 2:30 and you're just going straight out from the spray painting straight into lawn mowing, so you're not actually going home first?
Nah, straight into it.
So that way you get, 3 hours in the afternoon, or longer if it's summertime?
Yeah, when daylight savings comes, I've found myself working till quite late sometimes, but most of the time, for the regular stuff that's in the diary every week, I'm averaging 2 to 3 hours a day. And that's anywhere from 2 to 4 lawns.
Yeah, fair enough. So 2 to 4 lawns in that time. I'm guessing that means they take sort of half hour to an hour per job.
Yeah, give or take. Some of them are close to an hour. Some of them may only be 30 minutes. Depends on the weather as well. We all know what a bit of damp grass is like.
It can slow you down, can't it?
Yeah, and the bloody sticks to everything, and yeah.
We had a bit of rough weather this week too.
Yeah, I've been playing catch up, but it's all I'm all caught up now, because that's the hard thing too. It always seems to rain in the afternoons when we are getting a run of a bit of rain. So yep. I'm at work, it's all blue, sunny sky, and then when I've got to go and do something, it finally lets go.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
Nah, it makes it tricky, so.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So you built your run around this where you're doing 2 or 3 hours in the afternoon after work, and 5 days a week. Do you do any lawns on weekends, or you try and keep it to the weekdays?
Nah, I keep the lawns to the weekdays, and then Saturdays, me gardening, any hedging work, stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. So you're still working, just doing different types of work.
Yeah. No, I try and give myself like this weekend, for instance. I've got a full day hedging. It's
okay.
The property's hedges everywhere you look. There's a nice straight flat moraine.
Yeah, nice. I guess that makes it easy for you to keep the lawn schedule nice and tight if you're doing them on the same days all the time, and then do the hedge trimming and other gardening jobs separately.
Yeah, I try and keep the just regular schedule through the week, and then when I get other extras and the bigger cleanup jobs, it's just goes straight into a weekend.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's a good way to run your schedule.
Yeah, it's worked so far, and I do finish earlier on a Friday a lot of the time too. So sometimes I'll still fit some of them few hour jobs in, gardening or hedging on the Friday, and give myself the weekend. But I always find myself working at home if I do that anyway. So
that's it, isn't it? There's a never-ending list of things to do at home.
Yeah, it never stops.
Yeah. That's it. If I think I've got my list looking tidy, my wife can very quickly add to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, when she adds to it, it multiplies. It doesn't just add 1 or 2 items; it just multiplies.
Yeah. Gets longer quick.
Oh yeah, yes, and it tends to turn into a wish list, which I try and delete.
No, I find I do it to myself. I just keep adding lists of jobs, and before I know it, the weekend's over and I'm starting all over again.
Yeah, that sounds all too familiar.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.